DATV, and the Greater Dayton Area League of Women Voters present Meet the Candidates, your chance to learn about the candidates running for office in the November election.
Hello, I'm Patty Skilken. I'm with the League of Women Voters of the Greater Dayton Area, and I'm here today to talk to candidates for the Clerk of Courts, Montgomery County. There are two candidates for this office, Greg Brush, who we'll be talking to today, and Tim O'Brien, the other candidate who is not here today. This job pays $91,617 a year. It's a 4-year term. And that's about all you need to know about that for the moment. We're going to start by giving Greg an opening statement. Greg, you've got 2 minutes to talk to the voters. Tell us about your dog, your cat, your kids, your family, whatever you think they'd like to know about you.
All right, thank you. My name's Greg Brush. I am the current Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. I've been the Clerk of Courts for going on 10 years now. I was appointed in 2007, ran in 2008, 12, and now in 2016. Very proud of what we do at the Montgomery County Clerk of Courts office. We're recognized not only in the state but across the nation as a leader in our use of technology. We are also recognized for our customer service. We really put a high emphasis on that because most people think of us for the court, but we also do auto titles as well as the municipal court and the Court of Common Pleas. A little bit about myself. I was a police officer before I was appointed. I worked for the city of Vandalia for over 20 years as a police officer. I graduated from Wright State University with a bachelor's degree in sociology. I have a master's degree in public administration from Central Michigan University. I live with my wife, Kim, in Butler Township, where I served on the board there as the clerk treasurer for 7 years before I became the Clerk of Courts.
Thank you. You know, before we get started, I have to read this. I'm sorry, but I have to. We were trying to figure out, I don't think too many voters know exactly what the Clerk of Courts does. Well, I can tell you it does just about everything. You've got to hear this. The functions of the clerk's office are, and you'll correct me after I read this if there's some bad information I have.
Yes, ma'am.
To receive, docket, index, certify, and preserve the pleadings, court orders, and other legal documents that are filed with the courts. To serve court papers as required by law and as directed by the parties, to furnish preliminary case schedules and notices of hearings, to issue such writs as summonses, subpoenas, warrants, and executions, to receive, account for, and disperse deposits of money to cover court costs, fines, fees, and restitution according to statute and court order, to issue certificates of title for automobiles, motorcycles, mobile homes, travel trailers, campers, motorhomes, and watercraft, and to process passports.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, who knew? Who knew? This gives me a headache just looking at it. I can't even imagine what it's like. Let's start with my first real, honest to gosh, legitimate question.
Okay.
Boy, it's going to be a long answer. What special skills and talents do you bring to the job to handle all of that?
Okay. Well, as you said, we have a very diverse office. We operate really in 3 separate divisions: the municipal courts, the common pleas court, and auto title. Overarching on that, we have IT and human resources. I think the thing that makes me the most qualified for this position isn't just the fact that I'm doing it. I do have the education for it. I have a master's degree in public administration from Central Michigan, as I stated earlier. I do have, prior to coming here, I had prior experience in supervisory and leadership roles. And I think that's very important. The big thing, though, that's not on that list is in the commonality with all of that, we provide service. We provide service to attorneys, to the general public, to court personnel, to each other. And that's very important. And I want people to know when they come in that we work for them, because we do, and our goal is to provide them service the best that we can within the law. Sometimes people want us to do things, especially in the title area, that we can't do. It's not legal. So we work very hard to help them, but we have to stay within the law, and it's very important. You wouldn't want me just to put the title to your vehicle in somebody else's name, or the title of a loved one that may be passed, and make a decision and put it in somebody's name without a good basis for why I did what I did. So we work really hard on that. I'm glad you said the passports, because we also really, that saved us back in the recession. We were able to come forward through that recession because of that service that we offer. We are the best place to get a passport, and we'll come to you as well, which we've done church groups, we've done schools, we've done businesses to help them out. Again, it's because we want to provide service to the community. That's what government is all about.
Thank you, Greg. I'm sure you've got some ideas in mind of some changes you'd like to see implemented that might help run this gigantic conglomerate of jobs more efficiently and more smoothly to streamline things. What would those changes be?
Well, as I said earlier, our technology, we're noted for the technology, and we've actually seen in our legal division, which is the Common Pleas Court, a reduction of almost 40% of our staff due to the technological processes that we use. I want to see us build on that, to continue build on it, to push it out into municipal court. One of the things that we really need to focus on is reaching people in the platforms that they're used to getting. If anyone's ever been on our website, Public Records Online, which is, tout our own horn, is really the best website, the best free website possibly in the country. I really am very proud of the work our folks have done on that. We need to make sure that right now you can get that on your tablet, you can get that on your phone, but we need to scale more to smartphones. As we see the generation coming up that has that phone in their hand, we need to provide service at the level people want to consume it. We can't just say, hey, tough, come here when we're open during the day, you got to get here during the day. We need to provide services when it's convenient for our consumers, and that's going to be our next big push because that technology is coming. And people are going to used to, when you can order a pizza on your phone, you should be able to get a public record on your phone.
Thank you. Other than the voters, who do you answer to? You've got a problem, you need new computers, you need this, you want to make a change. Who do you answer to? Who do you have to go to?
Well, we do our budget, ultimately parts of our budget, it's a very complex operation as you alluded to, but parts of our budget are controlled by the county commissioners, and we get cuts back in the recession. We got cuts like everyone else did, and we pitched in and did our part. But ultimately it's my decision on how we spend that money. And I say that, but I tell staff, I said I probably haven't made a decision in years because I have good staff, I trust them and let them make recommendations, give us the decision why we should do something and why we shouldn't do something else. And very rarely do I disagree with them, quite honestly, because they are so good. They're experts in their field, known throughout the state for what they do. But when you said you answer to the voters, I can't imagine a boss that would strike fear in me other than the fact that if I were not performing a service. As I said, I was a police officer for 20 years. And I got in that field to help people and to provide service, and I feel that I'm continuing to do that.
Let me hang on that budget topic just for another minute.
Okay.
So you work with the commissioners and determine, you're consulted, they're consulted, everybody talks about what the budget should be. Does that include payroll for your staff? Do you get to decide who gets raises and when? I
do, though we are a union staff, very proud of our union folks. They do an excellent job. So we uniformly give the wage out. I am not a big believer in subjective wages. We try to give a standardized thing for the work performed. Now, when we hire you in, you're hired in at the entry level. You are allowed to learn as much as you're capable of learning, and if you can work your way into making more money, that's the option that we give the employees. It takes time. Some of our offices are very complex. It could take you a year just to know where the bathroom is, so to speak, because there's a lot of complexity to it, especially in our title operation. There's something new that comes up all the time. Folks that have been here over 20 years find new things all the time with titles. So while, yes, I control that, we try to give a uniform wage increase. However, we allow folks to, through their own volition and their own hard work and determination, move forward.
Does the clerk determine who gets hired and who doesn't, or is that?
Yes, I control. I'm the appointing authority for our staff. We have just a little under 100 folks right now, and I am the appointing authority for that. Clerk of Courts employees are unclassified per the Ohio Revised Code, and they all report to me theoretically and directly to me.
Thank you. We're going to give you 2 minutes to make a closing statement here. This is your chance to look at the voters and ask them for their vote, and to cover anything I may have missed that you would want people to know about the Clerk of Courts.
Thank you. I do ask for your support on November 8th. You know, I take this seriously, and that's why I'm here doing this interview. What we do is very serious work that affects people's lives. We've been doing an excellent job of it. We want to continue to do an excellent job of it, and we need your support on November 8th to do that. I always tell folks that remember, brush, brush, brush. It's not only what your dentist wants you to do, but it's who you should keep as the Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. And again, not just because I'm doing it now, but because of what we're doing and how we're doing it, and how we will continue to do that. I appreciate the chance to be here and would appreciate your vote. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Greg. This is my chance to talk a little bit about the League of Women Voters, my favorite thing. We are, I believe, I'm pretty sure I'm right here on this one, we are the only on planet Earth nonpartisan grassroots political organization. We fight for voters' rights. We will continue to. That's one of our biggest missions. We put out our world-famous voters guide in Spanish and in English. We're completely nonpartisan, never support or oppose a political party or a candidate. So I want to remind you all that our voters guide will be available the week of October 10th. Early voting starts October 12th. Be sure and vote November 8th. And I want to thank the people at DATV who contribute their time, their technology, and their expertise to make these interviews possible. Thank you, and don't forget to vote November 8th.